Hello, everyone. My name is Robert Arcangel. I am the Associate Director for International Recruitment and Partnerships at San Jose State University. I'm very happy to talk to you today. Thank you for joining us. I'm here to tell you about the U.S. University Application System. We're going to have an overview of the United States, the different types of applications, and then we're going to talk about San Jose State University as a test example. So you'll see here there are over 1 million students, international students, studying in the United States. That's an incredible number. They're studying at universities throughout all the United States. You'll see here, of course, some charts showing you the progression of students. It continues to increase, the number of international students coming to the United States, and we could be extremely happy about that. The U.S. is the world's leading destination for international students. And again, with the charts, you see the climb there. This is a map of the United States, 50 U.S. states. There's just a couple examples of different universities, 4,000 different universities in the U.S. And there's no standardized way of doing admissions here in the U.S. It's not like other systems of the world where it may be standardized. In the U.S., 4,000 universities. Each university handles their own admissions, so they may have different programs to offer you, different applications, different deadlines, different intakes when you can start. So you really have to stay organized, and if you're applying to various universities in the United States, you're going to want to make sure that you know all the different deadlines, how to apply, which application to use, and which components to send to complete your application. So it's just some basic information for all international students. So what do we mean by international student? We mean if you're an international student, we're not talking about a US citizen who is studying abroad or living abroad. We're talking about someone who needs an F1 or a J1 visa to come to the US. That is what we determine as an international student. You actually need to get a visa. There's different types of students. There's first-time freshmen who are coming in as an undergraduate student. You're coming right from high school, or perhaps you already graduated high school, but you've never attended a university. If you have attended a university already, and you're looking to transfer credits, that's what's called a transfer student, and that's another option to apply. You'll always need to prepare financial documents to either apply to university or to enroll to university, and certainly for your visa appointments. You'll need to start to compile this information. When a university asks for this information will be up to that particular university. For example, at SJSU as part of the admissions process, you will have to hand in a declaration of finance, some schools will call it something different, and a bank statement. If you're sponsored by a scholarship or your government, you'll need to hand in a letter of sponsorship along, making sure that you can pay for 1 full year of expenses. And every university in the United States is going to have different costs, but we'll always list on our declaration of finance what that cost will be, and that's how much you will have to show in your bank statement. So one of the key things to think about is, where do I want to study? Some of you watching this webinar right now may have not yet applied to the United States, and you're still considering it for the fall or next year, or perhaps even a spring intake. So it's a lot of different things to consider. One is location. The United States is a very large country. Do you want to study on the West Coast? Do you want to study on the East Coast? Do you want to study in between? There's different size cities. There are different size atmospheres, big cities, small cities. So it's very important to think about the state you want to study in and the location. Do you want an urban environment like a big city like San Jose, or do you want a more rural environment? What type of courses, what type of majors are being offered by the university? That's very important, because if you are interested in engineering, for example, you want to make sure you're applying to a university that actually offers that program. The same is true as if you're interested in art. You want to make sure you're going to a university that's going to offer that program. So studying abroad in the United States is a very big commitment. Value is very important. Return on investment is a term you'll hear a lot. What that means is that you want to make sure that all the time and resources, including money, that you're putting into your education is going to be paid off And the best way to do that, of course, is to make sure that the school you're looking at has a good reputation, a good history of job placement. And you'll know that as you research your different institutions, but we'll always be able to help you with this information as well. The Cal State University system, California has many different systems within our own state. We have the University of California system. I'm sure you may be familiar with UCLA, UC Irvine, UC Berkeley. We have the community college system all throughout California, which is a wonderful option for many students. We have private institutions as well. And then, of course, we have the school that I work for. The system is called the California State University System. We may call it Cal State, we may call it the CSU, but the important thing to remember is there's 23 different Cal State universities throughout all of California, and you'll see the map there. So we're going to talk about the case study of San Jose State University, or SJSU. So undergraduate, what does that mean? You'll see here, undergraduate first year. In the United States, undergraduate, we mean bachelor's degree. We just happen to use the term undergraduate. So this is for students who are going to be new, coming to our university, wanting to get a bachelor's degree. So we always require an official high school transcript. In the US, we do things on a 4.0 scale. So your GPA, your grade point average, will be viewed on a 4.0 scale. Most of our programs are going to require a minimum of at least a 3.0. Some of our majors, some of our very competitive majors, will have an even higher requirements. For the Cal State system, 3 years of college mathematics is required. Many universities will ask for a test of English language. We accept the TOEFL or the IELTS. And you'll see our engineering majors actually have a higher requirement than our other programs. We do not require the SAT or ACT, but it is highly recommended. And it's really highly recommended for those majors that are extremely competitive at our university. If you are applying to a very competitive program, taking the SAT or the ACT will help your application. Some universities in the United States will always require the SAT and ACT for all international students, and some universities will never require it and won't ask for it. But for our university, for SJSU, it is not required, but it is highly recommended for competitive programs, of course. High school transcripts must be official. They should not be sent by the student and will not be accepted. They must come officially from the high school in sealed envelopes that we can verify that they are official documents. Okay, the pre-application for graduate students. What's a graduate student? In the US, that means master's degree. Other systems of the world, you may hear the term postgraduate. We do not use that term in the US for master's degree. If somebody says postgraduate to us, we do offer, many universities offer that, but we mean PhD programs. So for universities that offer master's degree, we call it graduate programs. At SJSU, you must prove that you have a 4-year bachelor degree. If you're not sure if your system in your country does not do 4-year degrees, please contact us. There may be some exceptions, but in most cases, there is not. In most cases, we do require a 4-year bachelor's degree. And how we do that is we require you to go through WES, which is WES.org, the World Education Services. You will have to turn in your transcript to WES. You have to pay a fee, wait a few weeks to get a transcript evaluated. And the reason this is very important is that, yes, it translates your degree into English, and yes, it translates it to the 4.0 US scale. But most importantly, it actually validates your documents as authentic and that the university you studied for your bachelor's degree was fully accredited and is certified as a good university. So then we can accept your documents. Many of our programs have higher requirements. Graduate programs in the United States are very, very decentralized. Usually for undergraduate degrees, there is one central office of undergraduate admissions, and there will be a person or several people in there who are dealing with international students for you to talk to. Graduate programs in the United States are decentralized. Each individual graduate director has his or her own requirements, what they're looking for in a student. So very often these programs will ask for letters of recommendation. They may ask for resumes, CVs, working experience. They may ask for a personal statement. And then again, some of the programs will not ask for these. So you always have the basic requirements of what you'll need to do in terms of your transcripts, the TOEFL or IELTS, the WES of your transcript, for example. But then there will be other things that you have to do. And some of these programs will require additional testing. You may have heard of the GRE or the GMAT, the GMAT. Depending on what program you're interested in, you may have to take an additional test. For example, for the MBA, you need to take the GMAT or the GRE. For us, that's SJSU, you can take either one. For an engineering program, for some of our engineering programs, software engineering, for example, you will need to take the GRE. So you want to check with the testing requirements and start to prepare for those tests as well. Where to apply? All 23 Cal States use the same application, the Cal State Apply application. You can apply through there to any of the 23 schools, including San Jose State. The application will guide you through the process. You will pay an application fee. If you're not using the Cal State Apply, there may be a different university system you're applying for. Some very common ones, for example, the Common Application used by many schools, or a university may just have its own application. And you'll always be able to find the university application on their actual admissions website. They're not going to hide that. Universities want you to apply. When to apply? There's different intakes for universities. Some universities may only have fall intakes. Some may have fall and spring intakes, or perhaps even shorter intakes. There's different methods in the United States. There's universities that are on the quarter system and have various intakes. At San Jose State, we're on the semester, 2-semester system. So most of our programs, not all, but many of our programs, I should say, have a spring intake, but all have a fall intake. Fall intake is very popular, but a lot of our programs, especially many of our master's degree programs, do have a spring intake as well. So you want to check because deadlines are all over the board depending on the program. Undergraduate, bachelor's degree, usually have one deadline, but the master's degrees can have several deadlines. Example, our master's programs have deadlines in November, February, March, etc. So you just, on the Cal State Apply, you will select the term you're applying for, and then it will show you the deadlines that you need. This is how to apply on the Cal State Apply application. You would select international, which is over there. And then as you're selecting international, it will ask some more questions to determine if you're applying for a bachelor's or master's degree. Cal State Apply application has been set up to guide you through the steps. And of course, if you have any questions with it, you can contact any of the universities, including us at Global Students, and we will guide you through the process. But it is fairly easy to figure out, we hope. But if not, please don't hesitate to ask us questions. So basically, this is a step-by-step process. Create the account, complete your profile. That's the accounts. Complete your profile. That's where you're going to put in the type of degree you're seeking, bachelor's or master's, what type of student you are. If you're an international student, you'll select that. Then you're going to select your program. So this is different for universities, even in the Cal State system. To create your application for all 23 Cal States, you must select at least one academic program to start your application. And by that, we mean your academic major, business, biology, engineering, for example. At SJSU, we do actually, if you're an undergraduate student, a bachelor's degree, we do require you to select a second alternative major as well. Graduate students do not need to do that. So the application fee is $55 US to order to continue. Then you'll see this screen will come on your application. It's 4 quadrants. And you'll see the one down in the right that says program materials. That's already green. That's what it will look like when your application is complete. For many students on your application, the program materials one will be automatically fulfilled, but you'll need to complete these other 3 quadrants and submit it in order to move forward. Eventually, when you fulfill all 4 quadrants, it will look like this. Each one will be green. You know it's time to submit your application. You will have to pay the application fee, and then you'll submit it, and you'll get the nice message here saying your payment has been submitted. And then you'll see the date, and this will be your receipt. The reason this one is a little bit more is just for 2 applications, but the application fee is for $55 for each of the universities that you apply for, okay? So I know that this process is a little bit hard to read, and it's not so we don't need you to actually read it at home. If you contact us at Global Students, you will actually see we send these out as emails as well. But this is a sort of the process that you'll see and how long the process can be at a big university like San Jose State. There's several different steps you have to go to. On the left-hand side of your screen, graduate application process, you will see there's a time when your application is complete by the graduate admissions office. But if you meet the basic requirements at that point, you then will be deferred to the actual department chair for review. And that's what I was talking about when the department chair actually reviews his or her own applications to see who's admitted to their program. So there are several steps that go forward both on the graduate application side and on the undergraduate application side. And you'll need to go through all of these steps before you can be accepted and enroll at the university. Very important, most universities, including us, have a student portal. You apply online, you have your account. For us, it's your My SJSU account with your password and your username. You want to check it regularly for updates. Here on the screen, we say check weekly for updates. I actually say check it daily for updates, especially when your application has been complete and you're waiting for a decision. You do want to check your application as often as possible. I recommend daily. You need to monitor it. The checklist will guide you through the process. Very often, you may have documents missing. They may be incomplete. As documents are coming in and get complete, eventually your checklist will change. Now, it's very important to keep in mind with the size of the university, this process can take longer. SJSU is a very large school with a lot of people applying to our university. So documents that are coming in can take some time. And that's very common with all universities in the United States. If you send in your high school transcript, for example, to almost any university, don't expect that it's going to change your checklist on your portal within a day. That's not realistic. Every university has hundreds, thousands, perhaps even several thousands, tens of thousands of applications coming in, documents coming in on a daily basis. And the staff is verifying information and the staff is updating checklists as quickly as possible, but it can take some time. So be patient, but keep monitoring your My SJSU. If you're admitted, so let's say you've gone through the entire application process, you are waiting on a decision, as many of you watching this now may be, and hopefully you're going to be admitted to university. We do hope you'll be admitted to university, and if you are admitted, there are different things that you need to do. Again, if you're given admissions, you then need to do an intent to enroll by the deadline. Universities, including my university, SJSU, will always have some sort of enrollment process you go through, especially for undergraduate students. There will usually be a fee and a set deadline. A very common deadline in the United States, the most common deadline is May 1st, for example. So by May 1st, you normally have an enrollment deposit due along with some forms, say, for example, forms for housing. You will sign up for orientation. SJSU and other universities offer very good orientations to new students during your first week when you're moving to the United States. You'll have to purchase health insurance. You'll have to send your final transcripts after you graduate. And our office and the admissions office and my office and your My SJSU checklist will all guide you through this. So very often, obviously, the hard part is applying. And then the even more difficult part is waiting to see if you're accepted or not. Once you're accepted to San Jose State or any university, you can trust that the university then will have very specific information for you on what you need to do in terms of your courses, housing, health insurance, orientation, paying your deposit fee, etc. We will always walk you through these steps. So there's always additional information. This is very important information for those applying for a master's degree. All of our programs, I mentioned the West evaluation. All of our programs at SJSU do require at least 7 semesters of graded work on your West evaluation. And I should point out, we only accept the West evaluation. We do not use other evaluation companies. Many universities will. We do not. We only require and use the West. You will only need to get the document to document West. But we do not require the course by course West. But it must have 7 semesters of graded work. We will not accept it if it's only 6 semesters of graded work. Final transcripts for undergraduate students is due on July 15th. So during the summer, you've graduated, your high school then needs to send us your final transcripts, and we verify that you have graduated. I mentioned the GRE. You'll be able to look at that. You can do some practice exams. Also, or your program may require the GMAT. Statement of purpose, etc. Very often, there's no need to mail those. You'll be able to do it right on the Cal State Apply. Our team will help you with the steps if there's additional requirements for your graduate program. We'll be able to help you with that information. Okay, so that was just a little bit about the application process in the US. US universities, including SJSU, are always looking at different information. We're looking for different types of applicants. But we're always transparent in our application process. If you're looking at any university, SJSU or not, you'll usually be able to figure out what type of information they're looking for. Some universities will require personal statements, as mentioned, letters of recommendation. Some may require an interview, we do not. Some may require different types of forms, but this will always be detailed because it's very important to remember the goal of the university, wherever it is in the US, is to have students enroll. And so we try to make the application process as easy for you and as transparent for you as possible. I do need to talk a little bit about my university, San Jose State University, which we call SJSU, here in the Silicon Valley area of the United States. Some very good statistics for us. You'll see that we, among all public engineering programs, we're ranked 3rd in the United States, fully accredited for business programs, highly ranked in other programs as well. We're going to talk a little bit about some job placement statistics in a few minutes. So this is our prime location. You'll see the map of the United States here where California is located. Close by to San Francisco, close by to Santa Cruz, and we are located in downtown San Jose. We're right next door to the international airport, the San Jose International Airport. And you'll see a picture there, the middle picture, excuse me, the first picture says SJSU. That's the picture of campus. We're Silicon Valley, so we actually are in, of course, the valley. You'll see the mountains in the picture. It's a beautiful campus in downtown San Jose. San Jose is the 10th largest city within the United States, 3rd largest in California. I like to say there's beautiful weather here, and there is beautiful weather in San Jose. 300 days of sunshine. I didn't personally count that, of course, but it is very often sunny here. and beautiful weather in California. And then you'll see we're only 8 kilometers away from the airports. So what is one of the best things about studying in Silicon Valley? Of course, technology capital, right? Here's just a small list of the companies offered nearby campus or in San Jose or the surrounding area. Most of these companies are very familiar to you. I'm sure you've heard of Apple. I'm sure you've heard of IBM. I'm sure you've heard of Cisco and Google and Facebook and YouTube. There are so many different companies in the Silicon Valley area. Many of our professors have worked at Silicon or are working at Silicon Valley companies. We have relationships with these companies. There's opportunities to network, to do internships, to do OPT at these different companies. So it's definitely a high technology area. But it also is open to all majors. So keep in mind that no matter what type of corporation you're talking about in Silicon Valley, they need students who study all different types of degrees. Students who study business, art and design, and you study students that do journalism, tourism, foreign languages. All of these companies are hiring students from many different types of degrees. So do not think that Silicon Valley is only for engineering or computer science students. Of course, that's a very big draw, but we also have so many different programs. Corporations here, so Apple, for example, is going to need people who studied through all different types of programs. So you'll see here for the screen, we are #1 university for most Silicon Valley hires, including very good statistic for us down there. As you'll see that we are #1 at Apple and Cisco. And by #1, we mean the most hires of any university. So we're very proud of that statistic as well. Exceptional value, these are just some more rankings here for us at SJSU that we're very proud of. International student, in total we have 33,000 students at my campus, with 10% of that being international students. So that's a very high statistic. We're very proud of that number. 90 different countries represented on campus. So with that many international students at my school, you can rest assured that our university knows what they're doing when it comes in terms of working with international students, providing services for international students. 10% is a very good number of international students. For master's granting degree institutions in our category, we're actually ranked #1 for the most international students. This is a little bit about the Spartan life. There's a new fitness center, recreation center being created. We have an NCAA Division I sports, 400 plus different clubs and organizations for you to join. We want you to come to campus and be involved in our community. Okay, so this is the time, told you a little bit about the admissions process. And this is time to turn it over for questions. You'll see down in the right hand here, it says International Recruitment and Partnerships. Please keep in mind that global-students email account is our email that my staff is monitoring. We get back to your questions at a very quick turnaround time. So if you have questions after today, or if you have personal questions and you want to talk to us, please contact us at that email.